Alright everyone, welcome to the Foco Schlop channel, the channel with the worst upload schedule in human history. I want to upload more on this channel, I really do, but I find it hard to find time to record and edit these little second channel videos because I'm just so laser focused on the main. And the last time I focused this much on the second one, I barely uploaded anything on the main, so it's just hard to balance. But anyway, that's besides the point. The thing I want to talk about today is, so recently I did a main channel video on my 3 least favorite games of all time. Balan Wonderworld, Hello Neighbor, and Dead Rising 4. And I got quite a few comments, not just in that video, but also in previous videos. Comments saying, why do I keep playing bad video games? Like last year, I did a video where I completed, not just played, okay, I should also add, I complete these games, which means I usually have to finish the game about 2 to 3 times, depending on what game it is. But last year, I made a video where I completed the 5 worst games of 2023. Golem, Redfall, Avatar Quest for Balance, King Kong game, and I forgot the final one. Forspoken. These aren't like the worst games, but you know, it makes for a good title. But all of those games I also completed. I have unironically become super addicted to just completing games. And I get why people keep asking, why do I complete bad video games? And I have multiple answers to that question, and that's what I want to go over in this video. Give you all the reasons why I keep playing crappy video games. The first one of these reasons is pretty self-explanatory and I mean pretty easy to understand. It's for the content. Whenever I start playing a video game, which, you know, I play video games a lot because I really like video games, I'm always thinking about how could I turn this into an interesting main channel video. Like, I've played a lot of games where I just go through it and just nothing pops up in my head to make a fun video about, and I usually then just drop it. But most of the time I think of a few jokes I can make here and there, some interesting talking points I can make, some comparison, and I try to mush that into a nice video. And the thing is, with bad video games, there are a lot of notes you can take from them and just crap talk the living hell out of them. Point out things that don't work, make a lot of funny jokes. It's quite easier to do that with a bad game compared to a good game. And besides that, I think it's also more interesting to talk about bad video games because, like, good video games, people will go out of their way to play them. People don't go out of their way to play bad games, so I can do that for them, so they don't have to play it, if that makes sense. The second reason is, I think it's really interesting for me personally to understand bad video games, to see what went wrong and what I can learn from it. Give myself a little bit of a contrast to what a bad game is. If you only play good games, which if you just want to play good games, that's completely fine, you can do that. I'm not gonna tell you what you should play or not, but if you do that, you kind of get like a misformed idea of what a bad game is, if that makes sense, because you don't have a real contrast. Like for example, Redfall, for example, this is a pretty bad game, okay, but I played it, I finished it 3 times, I fully completed it. It's not a good game, but it's also not horrible. There is some fun to be had, but if you look online, the only thing you see is just complete negativity and calling it the worst thing of all time. I think it's interesting to dive into it to see what at least worked and what you can take from that. And I've talked about this in my video. Redfall is bad because it just feels really underbaked. If they had more time with it, and if the developers actually wanted to make the game, that's a whole nother can of worms. The developers just didn't want to work on it. If those two things aligned, this would have probably been a good game, but because those 2 core components are missing, it just turned the game into this big pot of slop. And I personally find that very fascinating. I want to know all the little tidbits on why it didn't work. Why why is it so underbaked? Why did they rush it out? Why was it locked at 30 FPS on the Xbox Series X? Well, the reason is they had to rush it out, so they didn't have time to polish it properly. And then finally, you have reason number 3, and this is quite a stupid one, but I just really like to see this number go up. I just think it's really satisfying. The dopamine curve of it is very gradual. It isn't like big spikes and big dips, if that makes sense in any way, shape, or form. I also think it's kind of funny to just have Balan Wonderworld showcased on my Steam profile as one of the games I fully completed. Like, you have this big list, right? And you just scroll through it, and you just see pure dog water through it. I just think that's hilarious. But yeah, those are my 3 main reasons. 1, for the content. I think it makes for a funny, interesting, or just unique video. 2, I want to learn why these games are bad and what developers should try to avoid when creating games. And when I review it, I can see, okay, here is where they misstepped and here is where they went into the right direction. And I think for me as a reviewer, that's quite important. And then 3, I just want to see this number go up. I think it's really satisfying, and I just like to keep building up this list of games I fully completed. I just see it in like 10 years, alright? This list is going to have like 800 games or so, and I can point towards that and say, yep, I fully completed all of them. I think that's kind of rad. But yeah, those are the main reasons. I should empathize though. I don't only play bad video games, okay? I play quite a lot of good games. When I was done with the last main channel video, I started playing Ori and the Blind Forest and completed that in about 2 days. That's a good game. I really enjoyed it. I also played Thank Goodness You're Here recently with Cyber, which was hilarious. I'm dabbling with a bit of Fortnite here and there with some friends. I'm going to play the Dead Rising remake in probably like 6 or so hours, depending on when this video is going to be released. I do play good games. I just really like to empathize on the bad and make content on bad games because I think it makes for an interesting video. I'm not a total maniac, okay? I'm just a little dumb, just a little. And yes, when I play 6 or 5 bad games in a row, I get kind of demotivated. Like, I was thinking of doing a video on the Funko Fusion game, and I started playing it. I can't do it at the moment. I'm just completely tapped out, so I'm probably gonna make a positive video next. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to babble about. I know I haven't really been making these little in the background talky videos, but I still think it's fun, and I want to do more of them. So if you guys have any ideas, maybe I can do some low quality reviews on this channel. Please let me know. Let me know of a game you want to see me quickly review. But yeah. That's it. I am going to bed now and then wake up and play Dead Rising because I am so goddamn excited for this. Alright, take care everyone. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.